From the big screens of the Global Film Festival in India to Kolkata, Mumbai, and London, Rubendra Ravi is the 27-year-old director behind This Too Shall Pass, the 47-minute short story that recently bagged the White Unicorn International Film Festival Award. Hi, I'm SueLyn.
And I'm Kessyl. You're listening to the Recess Podcast. Hi, Rubendra. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here today.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for this chance, I must admit.
We are so honored to have you here. Let's talk about your film. This Too Shall Pass is your award-winning masterpiece. For those who have not watched it, can you tell us what is it about? You can include as many or as little spoilers as you like.
Well, I think the fundamental word behind this whole film is just emotions. I have tried to show everyone's plight and everyone's sort of mindset during the pandemic and what happened and what not. So mainly it goes around emotions. It's an emotion between a mother and son. It's an emotion between a husband and wife. It's the emotions between human to human. It's just because the pandemic really crumbled almost everyone. It wasn't nice, was it? I don't think anyone can go out and say, hey, you know what? The pandemic helped me. So
like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the pandemic. So I think the whole film just revolved around how the pandemic crumbled people. I think that's what it is.
I mean, was there an event that inspired the story behind this film? Was it like a friend or a friend or a friend? Or like you said, was it more of a general picture of the pandemic as a whole?
A bit of both, I must admit.
Yeah.
Since I'm not going to disclose who it is, obviously, because I don't want to put them in the limelight. But there's a close family member who's in a home, in a like a elderly home.
Yeah.
And that person could not meet his or her daughter or son. So it was really tough because it's a close family member, and it wasn't nice. And if you recall, on social media, there was a viral video where in the hospital, an elderly Malay woman was dying, or was it a Malay man? I'm quite blurred on that. And they had to video call their kids, and all the kids are crying as they're saying that. That sort of inspired it. And see, those were the real events. But to make it into a film, the way I did it was, wow, they at least got the chance to do that. But what if someone doesn't get that chance? What if even that is not given? Because I must admit, I'm a sucker for tragic endings. I love tragic endings. Any films with a tragic ending, you'll see me there just watching it going, what a film.
Wow, you're a rare species.
Yes,
I expect a happy ending all the time.
Well, I've been through way too much on a personal level, but so I just love tragic endings. So the moment I thought, you know what, let's make this into a film, I thought, let's give it a more tragic ending. Let's make people, let's make them feel, let's make them go, oh God. First person I put it to was my mom and dad. And the moment I saw my mom crying, I was like, yep, you know what, I've made something good now.
Well, it takes a lot of skill to make people cry from a film. And you certainly have not only the skills, but the education as well. You pursued a degree in film studies from the University of Wolverhampton, followed by your master's in Sheffield Hallam University. And now you're currently 17 days into your PhD. But yet on the other end of the spectrum, we see a lot of YouTubers and content creators today that make like short films or even sometimes small movies without much education in media or production. They just jump right into it, get a camera and start doing it. But what do you think is the advantage of having actually studied film? Like, what does studying actually provide you a benefit?
Well, to answer that, I just have to bring you back to when I was 17. I told my dad after SPM, I said, Dad, you know what? I think I want to go make a film. And he looked at me and he went, make a film? Are you sure you know how to do it? I said, I don't know. Let's just give it a go. So I got my friends at that point. I got a few people that I know and just made one. And when I look back at it now, I must admit, I've lost all the footage. I don't know where the film is. But when I look back, even at the trailer now, I just hide in a closet, close website and go, I don't want to look at this anymore because it's that bad. It's that trashy.
Like, I don't want to associate my name with this.
That's how I feel about all my old
don't want
videos.
anything. And the worst part is it's on a YouTube channel with my personal email, and I've lost that email account as well. And I'm like, how do I get this down? But coming back to your question, Zu, I think by getting the education, because I did film studies first to learn about, how to include things, for example, the mise-en-scène, the themes, on how do I, incorporate things without having to force it in. So I've learned that part. And then to learn the trade of filmmaking from my master's, I think I managed to get the best of both worlds, meaning how to make a film and the craft of making a film. So I kind of got both. And my first proper project was This Too Shall Pass. And to be honest, it was just a huge relief when it got selected or when it won something for me personally, because I just thought to myself, I didn't waste my dad's money.
And speaking of money, so you received a grant for 15,000 ringgit from the National Film Development Corporation to produce This Too Shall Pass. But it was not completely enough. Like you mentioned, you had to get some money from your dad and your family. What was the most expensive part about producing this movie?
The cast and crew, because I knew that I needed good actors. Because to carry the main character, Mo, I needed someone who was good, who could cry instantly, who didn't need, a lot of work behind the scenario, the scene. I needed someone good. And I got someone named Anwar Bag Mohal. He's an actor now. He's working on a feature now, if I'm not mistaken. And he carried the film. I must admit, his performance carried the film. And I had Hasina, who was acting as Lara, Diana, MJ. The cast were probably brilliant. Were just exactly creme de la creme. And the crew, I needed a decent crew as well. I needed a gaffer for the lighting. I needed a proper cameraman and things like that. So cast and crew were the most important thing. I was lucky enough because I had family members and friends to help me with a few things. For example, the main house that we show where Mo and Lara live in. Instead of renting a place, I got my dad's close friend's wife to rent her old house. And she didn't even charge us for it. She's like, yeah, just go ahead, use whatever you want. Just feel at home. So I was lucky. Or else the production value would have gone up even more. Yeah.
And what is the biggest obstacle you faced? I mean, maybe producing this film, or you faced as a Malaysian film director in general?
Ooh, touchy. I think it was trying to find sponsors, because when I was making the film, pre-shoot, when I was writing it, I thought, you know what, let's try to approach some people for sponsors and try to get like a brand deal included in the film. Albeit I wanted it on a very, very lame way, because I just thought, let's just bump the production value up. Basically that was what I was thinking. But as I got more into it, there were more elements included that I thought, you know what, it will be a good thing for their product placement to take place and all that. But it was difficult. It really was hard to get sponsors, to find people, because, I mean, if I'm in their position, I admit, like, who's this guy? He's just got the education. He hasn't done anything. Why should I give it to him? I understand all that, but it's probably getting a fair chance is probably the difficult thing. I must admit, like, if anyone who hasn't got an education, I personally think that I got the grant from FINAS because I've got an education background in film, and they were like, you know what, this guy probably knows what he's doing.
Safe bet.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. It was a safe bet. It was like, you know what? Yes, you will give it to you. Not because I didn't have a YouTube channel running with my films on it or nothing like that. I only later on, I just started uploading it. So getting a fair chance in Malaysia is probably difficult. But rather than that, when you get into it, once you get it, it's easier to find a cast and crew, because there's so many people out there who just want to be in this field. but they're just waiting for the right chance. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a personal question here. Like you said, I have friends who wants to be film director, has like creative ideas to shoot something. But like you said, sometimes it's just so hard to get like funds and sponsors aside from their full-time job and do something they're passionate about and maybe make them like the best director in whole of Malaysia. So like, how do you maneuver this? Like the first push, like you said, but once you're in, you're good. But the first,
how do you break into it?
Hard hurdle, it's...
Yeah, that's the thing. You just need, to be honest, I was in that situation. Very similar situation until, this too shall pass happen. Like, when I go to someone and I said, I want to try to make a film, especially in Asia, you get this stigma where if you speak to someone and you say, oh, you want to film? It's either you get people going, oh, that's good. So you get the positive one, or you get the film. So you need, people need to understand that every form of job is a job, even whether it's passion or whether it's for the money, it's a job. So the first push needs to come, I mean, for me personally, it needs to come from yourself. You should just shut your ears. There's a famous story from one of my favorite movie stars about a deaf frog. Because I'll just quickly say it because I love that story. So there are 3 frogs climbing up a hill. All the other frogs are down saying, there's a snake up there. Look, there's an eagle up there. Don't go. 2 frogs fall off and 1 frog keeps going up. And then all the other frogs are going, oh God, what's happening? How do you get up there? Happens to be that he's deaf. So if you're deaf and you don't listen to all the negative things that's going on, you will eventually reach the top. So
or die trying.
Or die trying. Exactly. Is that you give, but whatever it is, the situation is you give your 100%. So.
So on the topic of success, your award for the Global Indian Film Festival, what was the selection process like? Did they find you and then that's how you got nominated, or did you submit your video? What was that whole thing like?
Well, in my contract with FINAS, I was asked to send the film into film festivals.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I just thought, you know what, because I watch English and Indian films. So I thought, let's just send this to a couple of Indian film festivals. Let's see how it goes. Because I must admit, when I was writing it, I was heavily influenced by a few Indian films that I watched. And, from how that I wanted the flow to go, I had to base it on a few Indian films just for the culture behind it and get a bit more flavor to the film, I must admit.
Yeah.
Sorry, where was I? I just completely lost.
The selection process.
There we go. So I was asked to send the film into a festival, and I just sent it in. The first one to reply was, it was through the portal called Film Freeway. The first one to reply was the White Unicorn Film Festival. And it was interesting because I was on a call with my girlfriend right after a shower. I'm just there and I said to her, hey, you know what, the results out. Let me just check while you're on the call. And then when I checked it, it just popped up on the website saying, congratulations, your project has been selected as an award winner. I just went, what? And then I went absolutely berserk, started running around my room, and she's like, tell me what's going on. and then the whole thing happened.
I'm not very familiar with the whole movie production industry, especially in Malaysia, but let alone the world. But it sounds like there are many film festivals throughout the year. Am I correct?
Oh God, many is an understatement, Sue, because it's so many. Probably if I just pop on the website right now, for a due date on the 23rd of November, there probably will be about 20 to 50.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy. Talk about the opportunities to break into the
that's
industry.
The thing. So you get so many festivals, and there are festivals that are very specific as well. For example, LGBTQ pride films. There's easily about 100 to 200 festivals just on those films. So the spectrum is wide now. People like it, I suppose.
And your film, This Too Shall Pass, is set to stream at the Monkey Bread 3 Film Festival, which will be in the presence of VIP attendees from Netflix, Amazon, and BBC. How do you feel about this?
Nervous. 100% nervous because it's big. You get people from the top dogs are coming in, so I'm nervous 100%. But a moment of pride as well. For when I look back at a 17-year-old me making that film that I was scared to even show the world, to think that something that I've made is being the top people are watching it. It's a moment of pride, I must admit.
Yeah. Will you be there for it? Like to see people watch your film?
No, I'm not gonna go because there's just too much of studying required at the moment for my PhD.
But wouldn't you like to see people cry at your ending that you purposely designed to make people cry at?
You know what? In all honesty, I would rather hear the response rather than watch it, because to watch my film in the attendance of other people, I hate it. I get a very queasy feel. I go, this is something
like
I made.
Showing someone that your work and like, what do you think? What do you think? That kind of
thing.
Exactly.
And it makes me go, the more I rewatch, because obviously I've watched the film easily about 50 to 70 times now.
Mm-hmm.
From the editing table and whatever it is.
Yeah.
When I keep rewatching, I'm like, oh God, I should have made that better. Oh God, I should have done this. Oh God, what a horrible scene. And then, but then when someone watches it for the first time and they go like, oh, that was nice. And I thought, oh wow, I could have made it so much better when I think about it now. So I'm in a way, I would just want to hear what they say rather than, watching them. Because if I'm watching now, I'll just go.
I know, watching them on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did mention that that's the main reason you're not going to watch the show. But firstly, you actually said that was because you have too much studying to do. So education is very costly. We all know that tertiary education is a bomb, but not just from a financial perspective, also from a time perspective. You're giving up all your other things to be studying and doing your PhD. And you also mentioned that traditional Asian parents, or you hinted to that, they may not be super supportive of, media and film. Yes, it's opening up a little bit more, but mostly we still see this kind of traditional Asian mentality of go be a lawyer, a doctor, accountant. Why are you doing film? You can do that without education. So what do you think of this traditional Asian mentality and them supporting their children pursuing the arts as either an education or even a career?
To be fair, I'm under the lucky bracket because my dad, from the time that I told him, Dad, I don't think the traditional things is going to work with me because I just don't have the brain for it. He was from get-go, he was like, yeah, you know what? I know. I know you're just not someone who can do probably a biology or a physics, chemistry. You're just not someone that can do that. But from young, I was quite good in arts. I represented Penang once for a storytelling competition from young. So I think he knew it from day one. Like, okay, this guy, he's just meant for something to do in arts. He's just not good at anything else. And then my mom obviously just supports in whatever I do. She's just, she's my love guru. Whenever I need support, whenever I need comfort, she's just there for me. And then it's just how it is. I think my mom and dad were very supportive from get-go. And it's kind of sad that so many parents would want to support their kids, but due to societal pressure and societal remarks, they end up not supporting some of their kids. I mean, I know a couple of friends who they would love to get into it. They would love to, go into media and making films or being a YouTube creator and stuff like that. And their parents would initially say, yeah, okay, go ahead. And then a couple of months later, when I meet them or bump into them, I'm like, oh, so how's the thing going? Excuse me. And he would say, no, man, towards the end, I think my aunt told my mom that I can't make a living out of this. And, you end up listening to the outside more rather than knowing about your own child. And I think that's where like I said, I was lucky that my mom and dad just couldn't care less about what people think, because there are people around us who are, working in the traditional jobs that are already earning and already doing good. But I'm still here just trying to study and trying to, I'm still going to try to make it in life. I still haven't made it nowhere near. But my mom and dad, they've just shut their ears and go, you know what? He's doing what he wants. One day he will be successful because it's his passion. He will, do well in it. So I'm just lucky, I must admit.
Well, what about those who aren't that lucky? I mean, like I know that you came from BJ, and for those, for example, high school. And for those who aren't aware, that's like a top school in Penang. So it's not to say that you weren't smart to go into the traditional subjects. But what about those people who are traditionally smart, but they get the grades, but they do have a passion for the arts? What do you have to say to those Asian parents about allowing their children to continue on the arts? They're capable, they can do science or law or whatever it is, but they love the arts. Then what?
Yeah, a big inspiration that I look at is a UK YouTuber. His name is Vic Star. I don't know if anyone knows about him. He's just in his IGCSEs, he got 12 A stars. In his A levels, he got 1 A star and 3 A's. He's a top student. But he became a Minecraft YouTuber, and he's probably one of the richest YouTubers in the UK now. So people can be good at two things in one go. Someone can be good at the sciences and the accountancies and the laws or whatever. People can be good at that. But if you have a passion towards media and you have a passion towards YouTube content creating or whatever, just work on it on a side basis. You never know what might happen. One thing can happen that will just turn your life upside down. One event will just make you go, you know what? Hey, let me hold up on the sciences for a bit. Let me just try this. Let me just keep doing this, and then it might work. All traditional parents need to think is, I've done what I can to a certain amount. If he or she wants to take a leap of faith and just try it, just allow them that one space. Just give them that half a chance, because half a chance can become 100%. You never know. So just give them the chance. That's all I'm saying.
And finally, for listeners who are interested, where can we catch this film, This Too Shall Pass?
It's on YouTube now. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called RGR Films. My initials, RGR Films. The logo of the thing is my poodle. There's a poodle on the side. So
we'll leave a link in the description.
Yeah. I'll send you, and please do. So that's it's there on YouTube, and that's about it. I don't think it's on anywhere else.
Rubendra, thank you so much for coming on the show and just sharing your story. I really love that frog story, because I think a lot of us, we always like, oh, what's he saying about this? What's my parents saying about this? What's my sisters and aunts saying about this? But if you keep listening and not listening to your own inner voice, you never get anywhere. So thank you for that. This little reminder, I think we all need it, and our listeners need it too. We wish you all the best. Have a good time in the UK studying your PhD, and we will see you next time.
Cheers, Kessyl. Thank you. Bye, Sue.